Today we're going to be talking about something a little different. We're going to be talking about tattoos. I know that tattoos are not everyone's thing, so if it's not up your alley, feel free to click out. I'm not encouraging anyone to get tattoos. I just wanted to share all the tattoos that I have personally, the stories behind them, and my experience. For each tattoo, I'm going to show you what it looks like. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what it's supposed to be. Hopefully you guys will be able to tell by seeing it. And then explain kind of the story behind why I got it and what it's supposed to mean. I'll also share like maybe a pain rating and then where I got the tattoo. I have 6 tattoos right now, and I will also share at the very end my plans to get any more tattoos. Is there anything else I should say? Tattoo number 1 is this little one on my wrist. It says Serendipity. It's very dainty. It's my own handwriting, and it's on the outside of my forearm or wrist area. Funny story, sometimes it looks a little bit crooked because I have weird arms. Like, I don't know how else to describe it, but I have this weird thing with the rotation of my arms and my elbows not aligning properly, which actually bothers me in yoga as well. It's really frustrating because there are certain postures that are extra challenging for me because of that. But my mom thought it was hilarious because she did not want me to get this tattoo, and she didn't know about it until a couple months later, and she was like, this is your karma for getting a tattoo without letting me know. So yeah, despite all that, I actually really love this tattoo. It was my first one. It's my little baby, and it has a lot of meaning to it. I got it when I was in 10th grade. I lived in Shanghai at the time, and I was actually going through depression. Something really negative happened to me in around 9th to 10th grade and really kind of messed me up, for lack of a better explanation. There are a couple of mental health things that I struggle with, and I have ever since I was young. And basically, when I went into that depression, everything that I had ever dealt with kind of came back in full force. So it was a really negative time for me. I also have history with self-harm and cutting on my left wrist specifically, and I kind of have always been embarrassed about my left wrist because I had scars for a long time. They're mostly faded now, which I'm really grateful for, but I thought that if I got something that was a positive reminder around that same area, so that if I ever felt like I wanted to self-harm, that I was hoping that I would see this and kind of remember not to, or maybe at least take a second to rethink my actions before I did them. And at the time I thought it was being so original. I was like, wow, serendipity, this is so unique and original. And I now realize it's pretty cliche, but I still love it. Yeah, it was a great reminder to myself to just trust in the universe, trust in the future, and believe that there were good things that were going to happen in the future, and anything negative that happened was for a specific reason. I wanted to believe in serendipitous events and good things happening in my future, so I kind of got that to remind me that, like, hey, good things can happen. Hang in there, girl. But seriously, it holds a lot of meaning for me. Pain level, I would say, was about a 3 to 5 out of 10. So really quite pain-free. I think it hurt more because it was the first time I'd ever gotten a tattoo, and I was pretty nervous about it. I also didn't know what to expect whatsoever. And yeah, I'm a pretty anxious person. I don't have a very high pain tolerance, but honestly, it really wasn't bad. I feel like the sound of the tattoo gun machine is the most scary part that really like amps everything up. But I was like sweating just out of nervousness. But yeah, this area and most of your arm in general is not really gonna hurt very much at all. Tattoo number 2, I think we're going in order of how I got them. So tattoo number 2 is actually one that is gonna be really hard to show you guys. Actually, I feel like this is probably gonna be not a good idea to show. We're just gonna imagine. I have a tattoo on my hip, and I got it pretty low down. I did that intentionally because I didn't want anyone to see it. It was supposed to be for me only, basically. I won't say too much about it because it's not a lot of people know that I have that one, because it's like a very, let's just say I put it in a place where very few people aside from myself would see it. Even with like bathing suits on, I didn't want it to show, so it was a very strategic location choice. So the second tattoo I got was done at the same studio that I got my first one in. It was in Shanghai, and I think it was in my senior year of high school. It's just a number. It's one of my favorite numbers that has a lot of meaning for me personally and in my relationship with another person. So someone really close to me also has the same matching tattoo, and it is the only matching tattoo I have. I know what you're thinking, matching tattoos are always a disaster, but I came to the conclusion that with this person, no matter what happened in our friendship, relationship, lifetime of knowing each other, that I would never regret having this, because this person had such a significant impact on my life and really helped me through some of the stuff that I mentioned in my high school years. So for that, I am really grateful. Sorry to be lame and not show you guys, but Oh, and pain tolerance for this one was actually a little bit more than the wrist. I think because it's a more sensitive area on your body, something that is not usually exposed to the elements, you know? Gosh, I'm making it sound like it's like on my hoo-ha, but it's not. It's just like my lower hip, and that's not an area that is exposed to very much action in comparison with like our fingers and stuff like that. So yeah, it was just sensitive, kind of more squirmish, ticklish, I guess, a little bit awkward to get to. And also my hip bone sticks out a little bit and I can feel it, so I think that having the bone closer to the surface hurt a little bit more. So yeah, I guess I would give it like a 4 out of 10. Still pretty low. Okay, tattoo number 3 I got in New York. I only got it a couple years ago actually, and it's the biggest tattoo that I have on my entire body, and it's very unlike me actually. But again, I was kind of going through a really transitional time in my life. I had just quit my corporate job because it was just not a good fit for me, and it was kind of taking its toll on me mentally. And I also left the country. I just kind of didn't really know what I was doing with my life. So because I didn't have a corporate job anymore, I thought, why not get a little bit of a larger tattoo? Because you know, when you apply to most corporate jobs, you want to sort of be conscious of your tattoos and hiding them or making sure that they're not showing, which in itself is just so lame. I hate that that's a thing. But the reality is that is the case at a lot of different companies. I actually prefer very dainty, small tattoos. I just think it looks nicer. I like a more minimal design, lots of open space, thin lines. Unfortunately, the tattoo artist that I worked with was really into the idea of shading and like lots of black, and it's not really something that I like. I just prefer things just like softer, I guess you could say. And so it was a bit of a struggle because this was the first time that I'd gotten a tattoo in the US, and I'm sure that this is more of a normal way to do things. So my experience before in China had been unique, to say the least. But this artist really was kind of fighting me on saying that like I really need to get shading to have it look good and all this stuff. And I was just kind of like, this girl probably knows better than I do. And so it didn't come out exactly as I had wanted it, but I do think it's a very beautiful piece. So let me just show you and explain. Okay, so this is what the tattoo looks like. It's a pretty big piece. It's covering most of my inner forearm, and it's supposed to be this diagonal shape, and this is sort of the ground beneath and the sky above type of thing. The cherry blossoms symbolize my mom, which is funny because she freaking hates that I have tattoos. But cherry blossoms because she's Japanese, and if you guys didn't know already, I'm part Japanese. So that's sort of my mom, who's very much my rock, grounds me and like holds me down. So that's her. And up above here, I put sky and stars and moon to kind of symbolize putting my trust in the universe and just believing that good things are gonna happen. Just being a little bit more trusting, you know? And then in the middle here, this is sort of where I'm supposed to be at, like floating in between, kind of like head in the clouds. It sounds really cheesy describing it now, but it's supposed to just be kind of a representation of finding the balance between being grounded and feeling secure and supported by both the universe and my mom. So, yeah. I also chose cherry blossoms because they're pretty unique in the sense that they really bloom once a year and for a very short period of time, but it's something so beautiful that people will like fly to Japan to see or take the train to DC just to see. A very kind of beautiful spectacle, something to be seen. And that's kind of the way that I feel about my mom, is that she's very unique. She doesn't try to be seen necessarily, but she's often just like this, like she's very quirky and unique, and I don't know, this is gonna be like hard to describe, but my mom is a very unique person. I think she's really beautiful. I think she's the most beautiful person, but she's very unique, and it's kind of like she's got some like health stuff going on, so I kind of just feel like although she has a lot of bad days and feels run down and tired a lot of the time, she is like this bloom, this like spontaneous thing that you can't not notice because of like her personality and her energy, and then also like her physical beauty. Yeah, does that make sense? I don't know, but pain level on this one, this was a longer process. I think it took about 2 to 3 hours, and so pain level on that was about maybe like a 4 to 5, mostly just because she's like going over parts, you know what I mean? Honestly, in the last year or so, I've been thinking about getting this one removed or lasered off, just because I don't even like the way that she shaded. I think it's not fully black, which I'm grateful for because I didn't want dark blackness anyway to begin with, but it feels patchy, and I think it's beautiful. I do think it's beautiful, and it's very delicate, but again, it's not exactly what I wanted, and I just feel like it's one of those things I'll never understand why tattoo artists and hairstylists insist on doing what they think will look better. And okay, to be fair, sometimes they do know what's gonna look better, but at the end of the day, if I'm paying for something that's going to modify the way that I look, I kind of like want it to be what I want, you know? Especially something permanent like a tattoo. So I just have kind of mixed feelings about this one because I feel like I want it to be 100% the way I want. So I would ideally maybe laser off the dark part and just modify that somehow. I do love the cherry blossoms, but for now, I'm happy with it. I'm content. I just think it could be better and closer to what I actually wanted. Tattoo number 4, is this number 4? Yeah, tattoo number 4 is, I don't know, it was kind of a random one. This is a bunch of thyme, and I kind of got it on this part of my wrist. I chose thyme actually because I was with a friend of mine at a farmer's market, and we were just looking at herbs. It's one of my favorite things to do is spend my weekends at the farmer's market. I thought it was a great metaphor for taking the time that you need, if that makes sense. I also kind of like that it's on my wrist because it's like time on your wrist, you know what I mean? So it's kind of punny in that sense, but I sort of wanted to remind myself that growth takes time, and I just thought it was really nice and dainty. This was a hand-poked tattoo, so it was a little bit more painful just because it takes a lot longer. My friend actually did it for me and like went through and like hand-poked each dot basically over and over. So that was, I would say, a pain level of maybe 6 out of 10. But again, it was on this part of my arm, and arms are pretty painless as far as tattoos go. I actually have a video of my getting this tattoo done, so if you want to see that, I will leave a link for that in the description box below. Funny story about this one is that my younger sister got really mad at me, and when she gets mad at me, she just likes to insult this tattoo in particular and says it looks like a bunch of weed. And she knows that that really bothers me because I've been sober for like 5 years now, and it just like really gets to me because it's something that I've struggled with in my past. So funny story, or not all that funny story, but it happens. Alright, so we're on the last 2. 5 and 6 are behind my ears, and I actually forget about these tattoos all the time. They're my most recent ones, and they're really, really teeny tiny. They're also hand-poked by my same friend. The funny thing about these is like I can't actually see them myself, so I don't know what they look like. And this is also gonna be really hard for me to film a clip to show you just because I literally can't see the side of my head. I can't see where it is. Even if I look in like a mirror, it's impossible. So I just kind of asked my friend. I've seen photos of it that my friends have taken for me, but I honestly have never seen what it really looks like. And for the same reason, I forget all the time that I have them. You can really only see them when I tie my hair up as well, so they're a little bit more discreet. One side is a sun, the other side is a little star. And I just thought it was like a nice balance. I really do love stars. I think it's a fun balance of, you know, embracing both the light and the dark sides of you. I think that it's important to acknowledge the entirety of you because that's what makes you beautiful. Wow, isn't that a One Direction song? No, but really, that's what makes you you, and I think it's important to embrace even the crappy stuff. It's all part of you, and yeah, let me see if I can show you these. Okay. So, let's see if we get the focus here. I think you should be able to see it. I think it's like here somewhere. I don't know. But it's somewhere here, and it's supposed to be a sun, like a little line drawing. And then on the other side, do you see how teeny tiny it is though? It's like a little star. So yeah, those are the 2 tattoos behind my ears. I like the location. I think it's really kind of small, and I like that you won't really see it unless I tuck my hair behind my ear or you just pull my ear back, I guess. I don't know. Who would ever do that to me? Actually, yesterday the weirdest thing happened to me. I was waiting for the subway, and this guy came up behind me and rested his head on my shoulder, so like that. And he was like, "Oh my God, I love you so much." And I was like, what? I was so in shock because I just like didn't even know how to react. And then he was like, "Have a nice day." And then I got on the train and I was like, what just happened? And this was at like 6:30 in the morning, so I guess he would have seen my tattoo, so maybe he just really liked my tattoo. Pain level for these 2 little guys was probably around a 6 to a 7, maybe a 7 or 8, maybe the most painful ones that I've gotten. But I think that, again, this is like a very sensitive part of your body that isn't exposed to much like touching. And it's, yeah, it's like a delicate area. A lot of people are ticklish there, and yeah, it was hand poked again, so it just took a really long time. God bless her for doing this for me. But yeah, this one's vegan ink also. All of them are vegan actually, except for the 2 that I got in China, and those are all of my tattoos. So as far as future plans, I kind of told myself that after 2 I wouldn't get any more, but here I am with 6. The thing is, all the tattoos that I've gotten since then have been pretty small and dainty. Like I said earlier, that's the way I like them. I prefer it to be thin line work and just small. I feel like less is more. This is the exception, this one over here, but I don't think I'll be getting anything that size or that dark ever again. I could be wrong, but they're just not in my plans right now. And as for the big one, I think I still want to get that one lasered down, just kind of the dark part. But if anything, learn from my mistakes. Be really, really clear and vocal about exactly what you want. Don't be afraid to, not argue, but don't be afraid to assert yourself even with a tattoo artist, because I'm the type of person that is very non-confrontational. This happens with my hair all the time. Like anything that someone's doing for me, I feel so bad saying no or arguing with them that I would rather just be like, okay, and then go home and like cry about it and not like it. But here's the thing. If you're getting a tattoo, please assert yourself, stand up for yourself, but also recognize if there's any value to what the artist is saying. So I know that a lot of artists don't like to do white ink tattoos, and that's because they think that it heals poorly and isn't going to last, it's gonna fade, it's gonna look bad. In a situation like that, or if they tell you like, this tattoo is gonna be too small, just gonna fuzz and blur out immediately, like listen to that. But if it's something that you really don't want, like me not wanting darkness and black shading, stand up for yourself. And also don't let anyone feel bad about your tattoos. Like, although I have all these kind of funky little things that make each one unique, I still love them all. So again, I'm not encouraging anyone to get a tattoo. I just wanted to share the little stories behind why I got each one and why they're meaningful to me. So yeah, that's kind of it. I don't know if these stories are really all that interesting, but now you know everything that I have. If I get any tattoos in the future, I'll bring you guys with me and do like a come get a tattoo with me type of vlog and just show you the whole process. Yeah. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know by giving this video a thumbs up. I would love to make more videos like this, so let me know if you enjoy them. I have a lot of very interesting, sometimes tragic, a little bit dramatic, very weird, crazy experiences that I would love to share with you guys. I just haven't really been as open and comfortable with sharing things from my past so much. But if you enjoyed it, let me know. I would love to make more videos like this. And don't forget to subscribe so that you'll know when my next video comes out. Also, I would love to hear about any funny tattoo stories that you guys have or what your most meaningful tattoo is. And I'll see you in another video so soon. Bye!